Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're unpacking the massive 2026 boom in micro SaaS. Look, if you've been watching the tech landscape shift lately, you know the barrier isn't really how to build software anymore. It's figuring out what is actually worth building. So, we're going to give you a step-by-step framework to launch your very own profitable AI-powered tool. Let's get right into it. Okay, check out this staggering projection for the micro SaaS market size by 2030, a nearly $60 billion industry. I mean, that is huge. What this number tells us is that the economics of building and buying software have fundamentally changed. It proves you absolutely do not need venture capital, heavy infrastructure, or some massive team to build a highly lucrative software business today. The whole traditional SaaS model is kind of turning into dead weight. Trying to serve absolutely everyone, dealing with bloated features, managing giant teams, it's exhausting. The micro SaaS approach is the exact opposite. The goal here is no longer to build a massive all-in-one app for everyone, but to solve one exact, deeply painful problem for a very specific user. It's all about a narrow, ideal customer profile and solo founders moving incredibly fast. So, at its core, micro SaaS values clarity, profitability, and repeatable income over that old, frankly outdated mindset of scaling at all costs. You are doing one thing, and you're doing it extremely well. You're solving a single, recurring pain point and relying on really predictable subscription revenue. Here's our roadmap for today. We'll start with the rise of micro SaaS. Then we'll look at AI's role, explore some winning niches, cover how to validate before you build, and finally, wrap up with avoiding common founder traps. Section 1. The rise of micro SaaS. Winning with sharp focus. So why is this model exploding right now? Well, the biggest opportunities actually aren't in flashy consumer apps. As Julia Edger points out, the next generation of millionaires will be solo founders who built quote-unquote boring tools. They're targeting unglamorous, totally overlooked industries that big tech companies just ignore. Thanks to low-cost infrastructure and modern tools, one single person can literally do the work that used to require an entire team, and they can capture these overlooked markets. If you want to succeed in those overlooked industries, you've got to solve a migraine problem, not just a minor headache. You're looking for something so incredibly painful in a user's daily workflow, maybe a task that takes hours of manual work or actually loses them money, that they will happily, practically beg to pay a monthly subscription just to make it disappear. Section 2. AI's role in micro SaaS. The invisible engine. Here is the truth. The best software in 2026 doesn't shout about being AI-powered. It simply works as an invisible engine. You really want to avoid what we call the AI feature trap, vague promises, like an AI-powered dashboard or a general smart assistant. Those just don't sell. Buyers want specific outcomes. They want AI to completely remove the friction from a specific recurring job. For example, drafting replies strictly from an approved knowledge base. You have to connect the AI to a highly measurable customer outcome. Section 3. Winning niches and ideas. Real-world migraine solvers. Let's look at just how hyper-specific these tools can get. In education, imagine an AI-assisted IEP generator. This takes a task that manually drains hours of compliance paperwork and completely automates it, literally giving a teacher their personal time back. Or in healthcare, think about a private practice waitlist app that instantly fills missed appointments. Since a single missed appointment can cost a therapist $150 or more, this tool directly recovers lost revenue. For a buyer, that is an absolute no-brainer. Think about a fintech invoice chaser. If your tool recovers just one single $500 overdue bill, it pays for itself for the entire year. That is an incredibly easy sell, right? Or over in the automotive space, what about an SNB fleet maintenance tracker? It alerts a local company before a $2,000 vehicle breakdown even happens. Again, the return on investment here is immediate, it's obvious, and it's highly lucrative. Section 4. Validate before you build, the crucial reality check. So, we've got the ideas, but wait, before you write a single line of code, you really have to ask yourself, how do you actually know if anyone wants it? Look, it is way too easy to fall in love with an idea you just thought of in the shower. We need to know if the market actually cares. The real question is, will they pull out their credit card for it? Because if you don't validate, you risk facing a pretty catastrophic loss. $25,000 to $100,000, yeah, that is the true cost of building an unvalidated MVP. It is an incredibly painful, expensive mistake that literally thousands of founders make every single year by jumping straight into building features that absolutely no one needs. To dodge that incredibly expensive mistake, you can use the Beyond Labs 5-step validation framework. First up, identify the problem by hunting for recurring complaints. Then use AI for some rapid research to map out competitor gaps. Third, hypothesize your exact value propositions. Fourth, launch a quick landing page to test demand with a waitlist. And finally, interpret those results to decide whether you're going to build, pivot, or just scrap the idea entirely. The best part? You don't have to do this manually anymore. By combining AI and no-code tools, you can automate almost your entire research process. You can use ChatGPT or Claude to map the market, Rebecca to score your idea, and something like Framer or Webflow to spin up a landing page in hours, not weeks. You can test your hypotheses with real people before spending a single dime on development. Section 5. Avoiding common founder traps. Now, even with AI validation, things can absolutely still go sideways. The most fatal bootstrapping mistake: treating your MVP as a finished, final product. Founders tend to over-engineer, they build way too broad, and they try to serve everyone. When you do that, you entirely lose your sharp focus and just turn into a weak version of traditional SaaS. You also really have to watch out for ignoring early churn signals, blindly copying ideas without actually understanding the niche, and ignoring your pricing and hard costs early on. The mantra here is stay narrow, stay focused. I want to leave you with this provocative thought just to ensure your head is in the right place before you start. Ask yourself, are you just building a shiny new AI feature that's out there desperately looking for a problem? Or are you actually solving a boring, highly specific workflow that a specific buyer is practically begging to fix? Because if you build around a real, recurring problem for a clear niche, the profitability, it will absolutely follow. Thanks for tuning into this explainer, and happy building.